Hello everyone, this is Russell Carlin, and this is my week 3 review video. And for this week, the only thing that I really did special was I added info buttons just to show the info for the course and my name and everything. And I colored it so that it's kind of fitting the Halloween theme. So that's the only thing. Everything else is, this is a basic instruction. So for the code, everything that I did was I did the same thing that I did on all the other ones with the buttons. I just used a switch statement for all of my buttons. And this one is just for the add event, so if you click that, it'll show the other view. And it also sets the delegate so that you can get the information back and all that. And then the info button just shows the alert, which I didn't comment those out, I don't know why. But and then at the bottom here, the display event. This is where it takes the information that you put in for the event and puts it onto the actual display here. And if that default text that I put into up here, right there, if that text is there, then it will just erase it, replace it with the info, because that'll be your first event. And if there already are events there, then it will append it to the bottom and add 2 lines so that there's a space in between. So that's how all that works. And then here in the add event view, I had a date formatter, so it wasn't that long and kind of gross looking date that has by default. And it just takes it. I have 2 variables, one for the date down here and the one for the details, and they just save it into those, and then when you hit the save button, that's when it'll take all of that information and add it to a single line, which is right there is where it takes all that information. And then you can see that it takes the formatted date, use the formatter to make sure the date is formatted how I wanted it to, so it doesn't look all ugly. And that's what that does there. So, and it takes the date picker and it sets the minimum to the date so that you can't pick a previous date. And it also sets it to the default to the day, whatever time it is. That's what I'll set the default as, so that you always have a time at least. And yeah, so then here's the save button and all the other buttons, all of my case switch statements. And this is the save, and it makes sure that there is an event name. Here, I can go to the event and make sure there's something typed in here, and if it's not, then it will tell you, hey, you need to have an event title. And then if there is an event title, then it'll take that information and add it all into the full details, which it'll take the event detail, put a line between, so then the date will be on the next line, and then that will be what it sends to the main page to put onto the list. And then here, that's just the clear button for the keyboard, simple stuff. And then the alert for my info button is the same as the other one, is pretty much copy and pasted that. So, and then here's the action for every time the date changes, it'll record the new date and put it into the event date variable, and so then it'll have all the new dates and everything. So everything's pretty simple. I'll show you how it works here. Do Halloween and do that, and then as you see, it removed the default text and then put Halloween in. And then if you add a new one, then just whatever, doesn't matter too much what you put in there for this one, just to show you that it adds the new line between each events and then has the date and all that good stuff. So, and then of course the info buttons there. Now, things that I want to do better would be, as you saw, I went to type and then I clicked somewhere. I would like for the keyboard to disappear when you click outside somewhere, which I'm sure it'll probably be possible, but I'm not sure how well, you could probably do a touch up outside or something like that. I don't know. So something like that. I would like to have done that, and also I'd like to have a back button here because it really annoys me that you can't go back. Like I like being able to navigate through the app. That's just a really big annoyance for me. So I'd like to have a back button without having to do all that. And apparently the null thing, I think it's because I just was typing and then I clicked, yeah. So that could use some improvements also. So that should be all for this week. Thank you all for watching, and see you next week.